Hello everyone! Tonight we are celebrating our 1-year wedding anniversary. Yay! We have some whipped coffee that we Uber eated to our hotel room. And we have our 2 pugs with us too. This is Wilbur and this is Lola. Yay! Our little family. This video is about everything we have learned in our first year of marriage.
I would say one thing I learned about marriage is that it's not all about just having fun. It's about becoming better people, I would say. Like unlike dating, you're living with the person, and the small things that you might only see every now and then that might annoy you or that might, like, I don't know, encourage you, you're now like living with, and you can't just like go live your own life and then just like hang out. It's like you're stuck in that, so it causes you to either grow or like hold yourself back, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, very long-winded way of saying is like living with someone encourages growth quicker because it's revealing things about yourself that you may not have realized, or you're seeing something deeper in someone new that encourages you to grow as well. Dating versus marriages, and dating is like you still have that personal, like, individual home you go to, and you kind of live with yourself and your own thoughts, and then adding a whole other being into your oneness changes things for the better.
It is a big transition at first.
Yeah. Because
you're having to like bring everything out in the open and kind of like rip a band-aid off at first.
Yeah. It brings a lot of growth, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Once I got married, I learned to relax more. Like, I used to not enjoy watching TV or just sitting down as much.
Yeah.
But now I enjoy, like, enjoying each moment of today. And so I enjoy, like, watching TV together. But I used to not be that way. I didn't like to sit still, but now I like to enjoy just resting. So I feel like that's been important for me personally.
Yeah. You used to sometimes not be able to sit through a movie.
Yeah.
You would like get really fidgety, and I was like, geez. Like,
yeah.
Because I've always been a little more slower paced as like a person. Like, I don't have the normal stamina to just go all day. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll go do something for a little bit, and then I like want to relax, and then I'll go do something and then relax.
Yeah.
But her whole life for a while was just like wake up to bed, no relaxing, just like next thing after the next, which is crazy.
Yeah. So it's kind of been an adjustment, but I think in a good way for me. Like this chapter of my life.
Yeah, I guess piggybacking off what I said earlier, there was a quote that I thought of. I don't remember who said it, what it was, but the goal of marriage, like especially in a Christian marriage, is less about happiness and more about holiness. And I think that's really true when you sit back and look at marriage, of like, you can get really down if you're putting all of your happiness into like, we had an argument so your whole day is ruined, or like, are they upset at me, my whole day is ruined. And if you release that and like just pursue holiness instead of just the emotions, that's where like you can let things go better. And I'm not saying I did that well the past year. I'm just saying I'm learning that.
Yeah, we've been learning how to do that.
Yeah. When you realize, one, what you've been forgiven of by the other person in the past and what God has forgiven you of, it's easier to just let go and pursue like what the right thing is, rather than hold on to an emotion of like just being upset.
I kind of already knew this, but girls, we like to cool off, or like we get angry and then we have to like go like cool off for several hours, but men want to figure it out immediately. Women get emotional from their heart, and then men get emotional from their head, and that's why men can get mad so quickly and then they can drop it so quickly. But then women, they get attached to a subject so much because they like feel it with their hearts. When you get into an argument with your spouse, you have to like really think of that, especially if your wife is wanting to maybe take a break for an hour or 30 minutes. Let her have a break, because she's probably more attached to the subject than maybe the man is, or like she's really feeling it with her heart. So yeah, that's what I've learned. We learned that in premarital counseling. I
Yeah.
think it actually really helped.
Yeah, there's the really simple analogy we had heard was like a man's brain is like uncooked like noodles where they're just brittle. You can set them out wherever you want and like they're not attached, so you can have your like your work brain, your at home brain, your friend's brain, there's one piece of spaghetti that's like mad right now. But it's like a girl, everything's combined. It's like a cooked bowl of spaghetti where it's like you can't separate the one bad noodle that's like messing up your whole, no, it's like all in a bowl together. And that's why that's like complex and hard to understand as a guy. And it's also why, like, for me, what triggered potentially like you getting upset isn't necessarily the reason you're actually upset.
Yeah.
That confuses me.
Yeah, because women have just like so many different things going on in their minds that, all connect to different dots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't follow the dots well.
We're all different. We have so many emotions in our heads. And also men, they like follow the same routine each day. Like you wake up, eat breakfast, maybe you work out, like eat lunch. Like you have the same routine every day, but then women, we follow a monthly routine. So like our hormones are different, like depending on the day.
Oh yeah. Like your motivation, your ability to get out of like
and our
the house
and
and
our
mental,
emotions.
Yeah. Like you said, hormones are like monthly for you, but for a guy, like having a sexual appetite, like you're easy to get pissed off if you go a while without doing it.
That's true, but we don't go that long with that.
No, we don't. No, but that is one thing that I've learned is like a few times where like days go by, if like I've just been swamped, busy, and I'm just like, I'm going to sleep. And it's like the next day, it's just like I can get pissed off so easy, and it's like, I know why. And then I'm sure on you it sucks because you're like, he's just pissy, I don't want to do it with him right now. But then it's like, but I kind of need that to calm down sometimes. But it's not, we're not saying that in a way that it's like I'm some like demanding person when it comes to it. Like, it's just I've noticed the longer you wait, sometimes the more arguments boil up. And then that makes you maybe want to lead into adding more days of waiting because the arguments build up. So I guess a tip to marriage is just like, if frequency is a struggle for you, plan it. But if it's not a struggle for you, then just keep that up. Like, go you. Like, that's kind of been us our first year. It's just like, go us. Like, we're good. But if it ever did become something that started to slip, we would begin to schedule it regularly just so that it's helpful. Yeah.
I feel like this year I learned how to be more vulnerable. I'm still working on it though.
You are.
I'm naturally just like, I shut down my emotions because I don't like to cry very much or
in front of people
express myself.
Yeah.
But I've learned it's important to express my emotions and not let them build up. And that's why I have a husband, is to like express my emotions. And it's been really good. So that's something I would tell like a new married couple, is like, don't be afraid to share your emotions or to communicate what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it really does help. And it makes you feel more connected also.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As a guy, I feel like what I learned in marriage, your wife is there and they chose to marry you and they want to support you. So it's like, just in areas of my life this past year where I started to feel inadequate, it added to it for a little bit when I was like, oh, I like don't want Tatum to know this level of how inadequate I feel. But it's like, it
wasn't true at all.
Yeah, it's
I
not,
wanted to know.
Yeah, it's like it's our knee-jerk response to like, as a man, when I feel like the leader, that like I shouldn't need anything from my spouse, like I should be pouring out. But like sometimes you do, and that's like okay, and you do need things from your spouse, and that's why they chose to marry you, is to build you up when you're feeling down. And it's not like unmanly to not feel like you can do it all. Yeah. I would say it's good to continuously pursue one another, whether it's
planning date nights or ordering food or cooking a meal together, doing like a DIY project together, or maybe going to the park together. It's just important to continue to like date your spouse even though you're married. Like, keep things interesting.
Yeah.
Like, don't stop dating them just because you're married. You don't have to settle down just because you're married.
One of the last things that I've noticed in marriage is when we first got engaged, and at my bachelor party too, when we were at like a casino, like old people, middle-aged people sometimes are like, man, get out while you can, like enjoy it while you while it lasts, blah blah blah. There's just a negative image around marriage in society a lot, I feel like, and it doesn't have to be that way. Like, if you're happy dating and you're like scared of marriage because of what people have told you, like, you don't have to be scared of marriage. Like,
yeah.
For some of the like mentor style like couples that in our lives, or just like books we've read of like older couples, like they generally have said like our marriage has gotten better every year. Like, they love each other more at 60 than they ever did when they were 20, and that's like available to everyone, and it's up to you to like pursue that and to not be like freaked out by people who are like, oh, I had a failed marriage, or oh, they took half my stuff, like be ready. Like, no, like that happens, yes, but you don't have to be fearful of it.
Yeah. I think if you keep God at the center of your marriage, then you're set up for success. But if you're following the world with your marriage, then it probably will end in failure.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you want different results, don't do the same things everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, the world has a 50% like failure rate in marriage, and it's like, if you want a marriage like that, then just like expect 50-50 chance it may fail. But if you want to be different, if you want to see what God can do in your life and in your marriage and in like just your future, then do it differently. And don't listen to those people who are just giving like you do you advice that's kind of out there right now.
Yeah. Just don't listen to the haters.
Yeah, marriage is great. Is like one thing I think with going off of some people are really cynical about marriage. If you go into marriage with the mindset of like the whole idea happiness is the most important, then like you might be more prone to thinking divorce should be an option if you start to not feel happy for a certain season. So that's why I think it's important to think of marriage differently. And when you are making a covenant, at like your vows and during the ceremony and all that, really mean what you're saying. And if you do really mean what you're saying, then divorce isn't an option. And it doesn't, like, the sadness doesn't make you run. The sadness doesn't make you like question. It's you, like, it has to be the foundation to start is marriage, and it's sacred, and don't touch it. Like, it's never going to be broken apart. So then you start operating and finding all the answers to your problems together, instead of like, oh, they're starting to annoy me, maybe I need to find my answers over here. It's like always together.
Yeah. Well, that concludes this video. We hope that we gave you all some good advice. That's everything that we could think of that we learned in our first year of marriage. I'm sure there was more to it. If we think of anything, we'll write it down and we'll make a part 2 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure I left stuff out. But
yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye.
bye.